Morning, everybody. Or
Morning.
good afternoon. It's noon now.
Right.
Thanks for joining. As you're joining in here, if you just want to put your mics on mute, we'll give it a couple more minutes for people to trickle in from the waiting room, and then we'll get started here shortly. Hello to those of you who are just getting settled. I'll just repeat if you are just joining us now, to mute your mic. We're just going to wait maybe like 30 more seconds. We still have people kind of joining in from the waiting room here. So let's give it a little bit more time, and then we'll get rolling. Appreciate all of you taking the time to join today. All right, well, it's 12:02, so we'll get things rolling. Thank you everyone for joining today. Looking forward to talking to you about our Project Zero Incubator program as we're accepting applications for our 2023 cohort. As we get started this afternoon, I do want to take a moment and respectfully acknowledge that I'm broadcasting this meeting today from the traditional territory of the Lekwungen people, known today as the Esquimalt and Songhees Nations. I know we're joining from various parts across the province, so I encourage everybody to take a moment and acknowledge the land that they're joining from today as well. I also want to take a moment and recognize a few of my colleagues on the call today. We have our marketing and communications coordinator, Emily, with us. She'll be helping you with any questions that you might have in the chat, as well as our circular economy project coordinator, Maddie. Brief overview of our agenda today. So we'll do a quick introduction to Synergy Foundation so you have a better understanding of our organization. Then we'll chat a little bit about the circular economy before diving into more specific details around the incubator program. We will save time at the end of today's session for Q&A. The content today will be pretty quick to roll through, so lots of time towards the end for any questions that you might have. If questions come to mind throughout the presentation, you feel free to pop them into the chat box. Emily will be monitoring that, and we'll ensure that your questions get answered in the end period. Otherwise, feel free to save your questions until the end, and then use the raise hand function, and you can take yourself off of mute at that time to ask any questions. I'll also note that today's presentation is being recorded, so through the application process, if you wanted to come back to this recording for any other pieces of information, it will be published on our website next week. Awesome. So our organization is the Synergy Foundation. We were founded in 2013, and we're a nonprofit that's headquartered in Victoria. We do work across BC. So our mission at Synergy is to share ideas, spark innovation, and activate change to steer our economy and communities towards a more regenerative future. So we work towards this mission through our 3 core programs: Project Zero, which focuses on the circular economy; FED, focusing on urban agriculture; and the Vancouver Island Green Business Collective, which is really focusing on green business operations for SMEs. Today, of course, I'm here with my Project Zero hat on to discuss our circular economy incubator program and answer any questions that you may have. So many promising opportunities within a circular economy. And so in 2019, we launched what is our newest program, Project Zero, with the intention to bring more of these circular economy concepts to BC and really bolster and support an inclusive circular economy here in the province. So I mentioned a lot of benefits to a circular economy. So these, when we talk about that, we're really looking at the positive environmental impact that we see from a circular economy, the lower carbon emissions, spurring innovation through new ventures and entrepreneurs, creating those entrepreneurial opportunities, which in turn creates more jobs. Some more benefits of the circular economy that have become especially more prevalent throughout the pandemic and the extreme weather events that we've been facing is supply chain resiliency. So we know that by utilizing a circular economy, we're allowing for better resource and waste management and local manufacturing. So this really helps us to strengthen those local supply chains and keep money in our communities. So we'll just do a brief overview of the circular economy. I know most of you're on the call to learn more about a circular economy incubator. You have a business idea in that space. So just want to chat more about how we look at it at Synergy. So for us, I find it's easiest if we start by looking at our current economic model, which is linear. So on the left-hand side of the screen here, you'll see that, we're extracting resources from the earth, we're turning them into new goods, shipping those globally, and then we're purchasing them as consumers and using them for often a short period of time before they're ending up. The model is not sustainable, and so we're looking for ways to turn those loops back on themselves and use various mechanisms to keep goods in circulation for longer. So really, with an equitable circular economy, those resources and manufactured goods have been designed to remain in the system. This is done through innovation, reuse and repair, redistribution, reconditioning, and recycling processes, all of which are then ideally powered by renewable energy. So these innovations are really what's enabling affordable lifestyles and empowering new ventures that's also creating green jobs for our future. So we have a long way to go in terms of circularity. The 2023 Circular Gap Report, which looks at global circularity, was released earlier this week, and global circularity is declining. So our world right now is only 7.2% circular. This means that of all of the goods generated, all of the waste generated, only 7.2% of that is re-entering our economy through those 5 re-entry processes. The rest of that waste is either landfilled, incinerated, or it's ending up in our waterways as pollution. So there's a lot of environmental opportunity here, which is very evident. We know that by increasing our circularity up to about 18%, we can reduce global greenhouse gas emissions by 39%. So in addition to these environmental opportunities, there's significant economic opportunity. According to the World Economic Forum, the circular economy has a $4.5 trillion opportunity by 2030. And this is really coming from new revenue sources, new ventures who are creating new businesses in this space. We're turning waste into new products and services and really looking to how do we monetize those waste streams and have a paradigm shift where waste is really seen as a resource. We're creating local jobs and tapping into funding. So various funding streams coming online to support the advancement of a circular economy, whether that's grants, low interest financing, wage subsidies, innovation partnerships with the universities, or attracting investors. All right, so with that short overview of the circular economy, I'll dive deeper into our incubator program. So for us, we see all of this opportunity, both environmentally and economically, within a circular economy. And so through our program, we really want to be able to support entrepreneurs who are facilitating that transition to a circular economy. And that's really why we created this program. Is there's a lot of great incubator programs out there who provide support for businesses, but we're the first program that does it focused specifically for entrepreneurs that are working within the circular economy and working within that space. So a business incubator really helps early stage startups grow by providing resources such as mentorship, networking opportunities, and connections to investors. And with the support of an incubator, ventures are more likely to experience long-term success. So with our program, you'll see we kind of have the inputs on the left-hand side. So it's you, the entrepreneurs. We bring in topic experts, whether this is industry professionals or professors, trained facilitators, and investors. And then we go through our 8-month incubator program where we will have focused sessions. You'll work on developing your business plan and your business pitch. We'll bring in keynote speakers and provide business resources, mentorship as well, and access to accounting and legal advice throughout the program. And at the end of the program, we're looking for entrepreneurs to be leaving with a pitch-ready business plan, a polished pitch deck, new connections to experts, customers, and peers, and finding that access to capital as well. So through our program, you'll be accepted ventures will be paired with a business coach who they have the opportunity to meet with monthly throughout the program, really act as a sounding board and support with any hurdle jumping as you're preparing to launch your venture. And then entrepreneurs will also have the opportunity to have a 1-hour pro bono meeting throughout the program with a lawyer and an accountant. So a bit more on our incubator program. So for businesses to be accepted into the program, their idea must contribute to a circular economy in some way. We're really happy to say that this 8-month program is free for all accepted ventures, and this is thanks to our strategic partner, Van City Credit Union, as well as our funder, McConnell Foundation. So thanks to their support, we're able to offer this program for free to all of the entrepreneurs. And it's open to entrepreneurs across the province. So because we're able to run it all virtually via Zoom, there are no geographical barriers to participation in the program. We don't require any previous business experience to apply, so it's totally okay if you haven't gone to business school or you don't have any previous entrepreneurial experience. We're really looking for a great idea that contributes to the circular economy and the grit and determination to turn that into a reality. So we'll help you build your business acumen. We'll help you get to that stage, but we need you showing up at that level of dedication as well. 2023 marks our 5th year of the incubator program. So we're really excited to be going into our 5th year. Since 2019, when we launched this program, we've supported 46 entrepreneurs to develop and launch their circular ventures. So our applications are currently open and they'll be open until February 13th. So through the program, entrepreneurs can expect to receive comprehensive entrepreneurial and business planning skills, gain insight into the financial and legal side of operating a business, develop specific skills related to operating within a circular economy, and have the ability to successfully pitch their business idea by the end of the program. We actually host a pitch event at the end of the program where you'll have the opportunity to pitch your business idea to a room full of media, investors, and other industry professionals as a way to help get the idea out there about your business and get that exposure as well as practice in pitching. You'll also be able to connect with investors and industry experts and receive regular business planning, coaching, and mentorship. So some key program takeaways, as I mentioned before, you'll really be working on developing a polished business plan through this program. So if you're an established business, you might already have a business plan, but if you are starting a new product or service in the circular space, creating one that is tailored to that can be really beneficial in getting started. For example, in terms of securing investment or developing your marketing guide. So I just want to be clear that, that is going to be a major component of the program, is helping you to develop that business plan. You'll also work to create that investor-ready pitch, build new connections with mentors, coaches, and innovative business leaders. So you'll have that opportunity to be paired one-on-one with a business coach, as well as access additional meetings with experts as needed. building that business acumen by learning the business operation fundamentals and entrepreneurial skills, and of course, connecting with like-minded entrepreneurs. We see a lot of cross collaboration happening within our cohorts, whether it's the same cohort or alumni connecting with current cohorts. A lot of great partnerships have come out from the entrepreneurs within our programs, and a lot of them have gone on to do great work to this day, and they continue to support each other. So I know that entrepreneurship can be a bit of a lonely journey sometimes, and having that group to support you along the way, especially in those early days, can be really helpful. The time commitment for this program, so you can anticipate spending up to about 10 hours a month on the Incubator program. So we'll host virtual sessions via Zoom. They're on average, they're every 3 weeks, and they'll be on Thursday afternoons, generally from 2 till 5 p.m. So 3 hours in length. Sometimes there's slight adjustments depending on guest expert availability. And those sessions are really the core of the program. So they'll have a combination of lectures, breakout room activities, and panel discussions. After each session, you'll be assigned a portion of your business plan. So we understand that business plans can be a little daunting to just sit down and write one. There's a lot of elements included there. So we've broken it down into sections that you'll work on throughout the program. And that business plan assignment will be related to whatever session that was just hosted. So you'll have the time in between sessions to work on those, and then you'll submit each section as we go along and receive feedback on your business plan so that by the end you can have an edited version. You can also anticipate spending that 30 minutes a month with your coach. So I like to say on average about 10 hours a month with some kind of flex here and there. Types of businesses that are a really good fit for this program. So we work with, new ideas, early startups, and established businesses. So you might just have an idea, or perhaps you have an established business or nonprofit with a new product or service idea. So a wide range there. And then in terms of categories, really looking at these different spaces that support a circular economy. So could be upcycling waste materials into new products, working with renewable energy or clean technology that reduce energy and waste, looking at the repair or sharing economy, as well as product as a service model. Important dates to remember in terms of applications for this program. So they will close at just before midnight on February 13th. So you still have a few weeks to get those applications in. Then applications will be reviewed by our review panel, and successful applicants will be notified mid to late March, with the program beginning on April 27th. Program will wrap up in December with our pitch event. A few tips for your application. So just be sure when you're writing your application that you clearly define your business model and how you contribute to a circular economy. If you have any metrics or insights available, please include those in your application as well, and be really specific about what you're hoping to get out of this program. What are what's the real driver for you wanting to participate in this incubator program, and what are you hoping to gain from it? Please review and revise your application before submitting it, and ensure that it's submitted as a Word doc or a PDF file so that our reviewers can review it with ease. Eligible businesses for this program, they must be based in BC and planning to develop your organization within BC. And then you're either in the concept stage or less than 500,000 in annual revenue. So next, I just want to show a little snapshot of some of the businesses who have previously participated in our program. The first one's Ergo Eco Solutions. So they were in our 2019 cohort, our kind of founding cohort, and they collect cooking oil from restaurants on Vancouver Island and convert it into biodiesel. And more recently, they've created a concrete release agent using reconditioned cooking oil. Salt Legacy is a really neat venture from Victoria, and she is taking the old sailcloths from sailboats that were previously destined to landfill and then upcycling them into these adventure bags. So you see her really neat backpack on the right-hand side of the screen there. They're also making surfboard bags, fanny packs, tote bags. So really cool, unique lines. And every bag comes with a story of the sail and the journey that it's been on, really connecting the consumer to the product that they're getting. Both of these ventures here are from our last cohort in 2022. So on the left is Leanna from Waste Not Wool, and they're upcycling wool waste into a slow release garden fertilizer. So traditionally wool waste is either landfilled or burned, but Leanna is able to store all of that carbon and ensure that it's providing beneficial nutrients to our soils. And then on the right is Zero Logistics. So they have high capacity electric cargo bikes, and they're acting as the last mile delivery agent, replacing those polluting delivery vans. So they've already partnered with some couriers as well as local stores with their first hub in Squamish, and they're looking to expand into Vancouver in the future. And lastly, a few more on this screen here. On the left-hand side, you'll see a sample of Sharewares. They're in Vancouver, and they're a citywide borrowing platform that supplies, sanitizes, and tracks reusable packaging for businesses in the region. They've more recently partnered with Tim Hortons and Skip the Dishes, as well as 50 partner retail locations in the city. So they have been growing so quickly. It's been really exciting to see all the progress that they've made so far. Top right corner is Polar Engineering. So they engineer innovative heat recovery systems, and they do large scale projects currently on 5 different continents. Their recent project on Vancouver Island was with a local rec center, and it included a new energy system that's expected to reduce the facility's emissions by over 65%. And then on the bottom right is Bin Breeze. So they created a wood waste or product out of wood waste and minerals that you can then add to your kitchen compost bin, and it really helps to eliminate odors and fruit flies. They were on Dragon's Den a few years ago, and they secured a deal, and they're now in over 500 retailers across Canada. So with this little snapshot of our ventures, I just wanted to show that there's a really wide variety of business applications, of types of ventures and stages of ventures that have gone through our program. So if you're not sure if you're at the right stage or have the right concept, please apply. We're happy to have that conversation and see if it would be a good fit for the program. I'll ensure my colleague puts the link in the chat for the Project Zero Incubator applications. Just a reminder, that's where you can find the application form, and you're able to download that, and then you'll submit it via email. And just a final reminder that those close on February 13th. So that is all that I have. I'll stop sharing my screen there, and if there's any questions from the folks on the call, we can jump onto those. Check the chat. Great, no questions in the chat. Does anybody in the group have any questions about the program, the application process?
Hi, I just have a question about, thanks so much for the presentation. That was really interesting. I'm just wondering if it's possible to still be working a full-time job that's like not necessarily related to what our entrepreneur idea is, and to go through this program.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So lots of I would say over 90% of the entrepreneurs who go through our program, when they start with us in the program, they're still working a full-time job that's not related to their venture. We see some of them transition maybe 50-50 or transition more so to their venture towards the end of the program or perhaps after graduating. But yes. Long story short, yes, you can still be working a full-time job. Participants do not need any kind of equity up front. That was a chat or question that came through the chat. Nope, nothing required up front. No, there's no, sorry, just one other I saw in the chat there. There is no cost to participate in the program. It is a free program if you're accepted. And then, sorry, Theo, you were about to ask a question.
Yeah. Would it cover a service venture that was a service, not a product?
Yep.
Like something in service. Okay.
Definitely. Yeah. We've worked with service-based businesses before, as long as it's contributing to a circular economy. So if you look on our website, a couple great service examples would be Carbon Wise and Circular Economy Tech Inc. So those were both two kind of service-based businesses. So absolutely.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah. Todd.
Hi. I was just wondering, I'm not sure if perhaps maybe I don't meet the criteria for this. So I've opened set up and opened like a rebuild style store in my community here, but I've done it through a registered charity called Inclusion Powell River. And so I opened the store a couple of weeks ago, and we are already trading, but a business plan is something that would really help me. So I wasn't sure if I kind of was maybe a little bit too far along, or
No, that would be okay. So you're kind of in the stage, you're already open and running, but the business planning aspect would still be really helpful and provide benefit to your operations. I just want to make sure I'm interpreting that correctly.
Yeah, so we do already have one that had to be put together for inclusion to be part of it, but it was something that wasn't overly tailored, and now the store's open. Like, I have plans for growth, and it doesn't really meet any of that, so it's somewhat inaccurate. So I was just hoping to kind of get some support in tailoring that to what I actually want to create here.
Yeah, absolutely. We've definitely worked with organizations in that space before. So perhaps they are already up and running, but looking to either pivot or just really refine that business model within their operations. So that would be a fit for the program. And I just encourage you, when you're writing your application, to detail what you're looking to get out from the program and how it could support your organization as you're looking to grow and so on. Great. Mohadessa?
Hi. Actually, my question is about as a newcomer to Canada, I wonder if my status matters to Project Zero. My status being in Canada. I mean, if I'm my visa is through student.
Yeah.
And I just want to know if the status matters. That's what. If it matters, I don't go forward anymore.
So I think we're not looking at your status necessarily, but we are looking to support entrepreneurs who are looking to start and build a business within BC. So if you're looking to kind of start and learn here and then take that business elsewhere, I'm not sure that it would be a fit for the program, because through our funding, our priorities are to kind of support is going to be based in BC, then absolutely you'd be eligible for the program.
In Victoria.
Perfect. Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I have one question.
Yes.
Yeah, when it comes to like the grant writing and the business plan, would the role be more of kind of giving advice and kind of proofreading it, or would it actually be someone kind of walking you through and kind of helping you write it more kind of hands-on? Like, how much like kind of time or value will be kind of getting out of that?
In terms of the business plan writing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we do in each session, we'll start the session by pulling up that section of the assignment, and it has lots of instruction in it. So you're not just like getting the headings, but we try and give lots of instruction through the assignment. I encourage entrepreneurs to have that pulled up as we start the session and the guest speakers talking, and just start getting your ideas in there. And then you have about 4 weeks until the next session to submit it. We don't do a lot of hands-on, like outside of the session, hands-on one-on-one working through each business plan assignment. However, However, if ventures are really stumped on financials or an HR aspect, we hop on a call and troubleshoot that. And then when it's submitted, you get feedback on that portion of your assignment. So looking to identify any gaps or opportunities within that. And then you also have a business coach who you meet with monthly. And so if you really wanted to focus on your business plan elements with your business coach, you'd be able to utilize those meetings to do so.
Oh, awesome. And then when it comes to the potential investors, will the role be kind of introducing us to them and actually having like a warm intro, or how would that kind of work?
So when it comes to that, we do one session called funding opportunities, and we look at a diverse range of funding opportunities. So whether that's granting, investors, microloans, and we bring in speakers from various organizations to provide some context on how that process works. And then in one of our final sessions, we do an investor panel where we bring in a few different investors. So you have all of the entrepreneurs have an opportunity to ask their questions to investors and get insights on how to pitch to investors and build those relations. And we do invite them to our pitch event as well, but we aren't like pairing one-on-one or anything like that, if that makes sense. So more so in the exposure side.
No, sounds good.
Great. Envin?
Hello, thank you so much for the presentation. So what I've understood is we have to create a business proposal, and which is more related with the environment, sustainability, and then send it to the team, and you will be getting back to us if ours is approved or not.
So there's an application form online that you'll fill out, and it's a pretty straightforward application form. We want to keep it pretty simple on there. So in the application form, we're really just looking for you to share what is your business model and how it contributes to a circular economy, what you're hoping to get out of this program, and some other kind of preliminary questions. And then we'll determine if it is a fit for the program or not. So my colleague just put the link in the chat there again, so you're able to pull up the application form from there.
Perfect. Thanks so much for that.
You're welcome. Todd, you have another question?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if the 500,000 annual turnover in my scenario would be my store, or if it, because Inclusion Power River owns the store and I'm doing it through them basically, and they have like an annual operating budget of I think it's like 14 million or something. So they're like, as a charitable organization, it would be much larger, but my store is way under that.
Yeah, I think that would be a different situation for your store, because it is kind of, even though it's being administered by the charity, it is still its own entity, right? And its own, it's separated out from the charity in a legal financial sense.
I'm not sure on that one. I think it goes through just to give more weight on a lot of stuff. I think most of it goes through them. I mean, I'll include it in the application process and see how it goes. I just
I think because the store itself is under that threshold, that would be fine. And we can also chat more about that offline if you have like more specific questions around it, but I don't see that being an issue in terms of eligibility.
No worries, thank you.
Perfect. Any other questions from the group?
Georgia, I think we just have a few in the chat here.
Oh,
so
perfect.
One from Tree Cycle asking if a startup is already in an accelerator program such as Foresight Canada, would that be an issue regarding stacking restrictions, or will that still be okay?
So I think it would just really depend like what stage you're at and what you're hoping to get out of the program. I know Foresight is really focused on like scale up. So if you're already at that stage, we can chat further to see if, you know, maybe what would be the best route for you. So we do have a lot of ventures who go through Project Zero first, and then they go to Foresight to scale up. And so it kind of just depends what stage you're at. We also want to ensure that we're working with ventures who are going to be committed to each program. So we don't want you to be spending all of your time in different like accelerators or incubator programs, and then you don't have the time to focus on your business offline as well. So that could just be a side conversation depending where you're at in that stage, or perhaps how many months you have left in that program.
Great, and there's one more question in the chat as well. Is there a bookkeeping learning aspect to this program?
So not necessarily like a bookkeeping tutorial, but we do have a session on finance fundamentals where we look at how do you build your operating budget, do your sales forecasting, and we have worksheets that we provide. And then we'll also go through your general accounting basics and how to read your financial statements. That will be one of our sessions and assignments. Thank you for those questions, Emily. Any other questions from the group? And if you think of something after this call, feel free to reach out to the Project Zero email. It's projectzero@synergyfoundation.ca. It's also on our website. So if you have any other questions that come up, you can reach out to us directly and we can help you with those along the way.
I just have one other question. I think it's like a bit more specific to what I'm looking at, and maybe doesn't apply to everyone. But in my case, I am just starting a new job. So I just graduated from my master's of architecture and I'm starting a new job now, which I'm hoping to keep working as an architect and like getting registered and everything. However, I'd like to explore, so I made a product that's a material that's fully circular and regenerative, and I'd like to keep exploring that on my own time, and that's where I would look into applying for the Project Zero incubation program. And I'm looking at patenting this material at the moment, but I don't know if I'm fully ready. Like, I'm not necessarily looking to just like fully let go of architecture and like that potential job in the next year or two. Like I definitely would like to do both, and I'm just wondering, is that like still okay? Because you mentioned at the beginning it was totally normal for people to be working full-time during this program, but then potentially near the end they kind of maybe lean more towards their business, whereas I'd like to do both.
Yeah, absolutely. And we aren't we're not going to determine what you're doing in terms of your career outside of this. So we just want to support entrepreneurs who do really want to turn that product or that service into a business. And so whether you're the one that's leading that business, or perhaps you're just designing it and you're hiring those, general managers and you're taking more of a back seat with that, that's totally up to you if you want to kind of stay in that architecture space. So does that provide a bit of clarity as well? So we're not saying you have to leave your job for your venture.
Okay, cool. Great, thank you.
I just see Jeff's question. There's not going to be a copy of the slides on the website, but this session is being recorded and it will be available on the website later next week. And most of this information is it's on our website on the application page as well. Wonderful. Well, if there's no more questions, we'll wrap it up there. Like I said, the link to the website and our email is in the chat. So maybe just grab those before heading out, and then please follow up with any questions. And I look forward to seeing your applications. Thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.